Welcome to the Newsome MMA Podcast, partnered with Concussion Pro 1, the world's first dedicated concussion supplement. I'm your host, as always, Newsome, and tonight I'm joined by the NFC Welterweight Champion and the LFA Welterweight Phenom, Jared Nite Train Gooden, ahead of his LFA debut at LFA 59 against Steven Newell. Jared, thank you for joining me tonight. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, man. Thank you for bringing me on, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm brilliant, man, and it's always my pleasure. So, to kick things off, let's talk about this fight card in LFA 59. LFA are a legit promotion in MMA and has provided a platform for some of the best fighters in the world today. You're making your LFA debut here on February the 1st. How does it feel knowing you'll be stepping into their cage for the first time?
Man, it feels great, bro. I actually can't wait. I'm jittery every time I think about it, and I'm training a lot, getting ready for this fight. I'm very prepared. I have serious ADD, man, so I love the attention, man. I can't wait to get in there, bro, and be in front of the thousands and millions of people watching, bro.
For sure. But things haven't gone too smoothly with this debut, though. You were scheduled to fight Kyle Stewart, who was actually called up to take the fight on short notice in the UFC in Brooklyn last weekend against Chancellor Encounter. What were your thoughts when you found out that he was pulling from the fight to take that shot in the UFC?
Man, I was very disappointed. Of course, I'm happy for him because everybody wants that call to the UFC. I'm happy for him, but I was very disappointed. I was looking forward to that fight. You know, he's 11-1, I'm 12-2, and the way he fights and the way I fight, it just stacks up for fight of the year. But let's say congratulations to him. He got in the UFC. But I'm a real big Christian. I believe in God 100%. So I knew God was gonna take care of me. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're not fighting February 1st." I'm like, "No, I'm still fighting. They're gonna find me an opponent." And so they did, and now I'm fighting Steven Newell. So disappointed not to fight Kyle Stewart, but I got me an opponent. I can't wait.
I agree, man. And honestly, Jared, I see this likely from a perspective that may be different to many others, in the fact that the UFC clearly had eyes on yourself in this fight at LFA and then took your opponent, meaning that they're very aware of you right now too. Does this light a fire within you knowing that the UFC could be watching you right now?
100%. And I said, I can't wait to go out there and just show them why they should have chose me instead. You know what I mean? I'm going to light this guy up to come February 1st, bro. And I hope Dana White, I hope Sean Shelby's watching, because I've emailed Sean Shelby a lot. You know what I mean? Like, bring me on, so I hope they're watching, man. I can't wait for them to sign me.
Sure. But listen, you have an opponent, you have your fight, and we move on, my man. Next, I just want to touch upon your form right now inside the cage. You're on a 5-fight winning streak with your last 3 wins coming by way of brutal KOs. Now, before this streak of the 3 KOs in a row, you only had 1 knockout on your record dating back to 2016. Something's changed and something has clicked in your game. What would you say that is?
It's my new team. I'm now training with X3 in Atlanta, Georgia, and man, I have 2 new stand-up coaches. My Muay Thai stand-up coach is Justin Burns, and my new boxing coach is Isidaro. I can't pronounce his last name, but Isidaro used to train Jose Aldo back in the day when Jose Aldo was training in WEC. So I have his boxing now, and that's why I'm just destroying my opponents now.
Wow. I mean, as I've just mentioned, you're a fighter that's in form right now. How much of a boost does this give you mentally moving forward into your upcoming fights?
It gives me a lot, man. Like I said, I have ADD, man, and I love performing. And I'm not just a fighter, I'm an entertainer, and I go out there and I can't wait to entertain the fans. And like I said, it'll be on TV, so I can't wait for y'all to see this, man. I just can't wait, man. Like I said, I get jitters about it. I can't wait to be in front of the TV and just perform again, bro. It's going to be amazing.
Sure. So let's talk about your opponent, Steven Newell. For a fighter who is from Ohio, he seems to be very active on the Brazilian MMA scene. But how much do you know about Newell, and what were your first thoughts when you got this short notice replacement?
I don't know much about him. I know he's 9-0. He hasn't lost since an amateur bout. He did an illegal knee. That was his first one. So it's understandable. He hasn't lost in 12 fights or something like that. Man, there's not much video of him out there on YouTube, is what my coaches tell me. So my goal is to go out there and just fuck him up, man. I love to bang, but I love to bang. If he wants to stand and bang with me, he's going to regret it. He'll go to sleep like the rest. If he wants to take me down and go on the ground, I'm a brown belt down there, bro. You're messing with water. You're playing in the ocean, and I'm a shark. So whatever he wants to do, I have a counter for it. And I can't wait to go out there and just impress. Like I said, UFC will see the Nite Train and see what I can do this fight.
Absolutely, man. And I was just about to ask if you or your coaches watched the tape and film on your opponents. Obviously, you've just mentioned that there's not really too much out there, but stylistically, from what you have seen of him, where do you feel that your advantages are in this fight, Jared?
Everywhere. There's nothing so again, I don't watch my opponents because I believe everybody gets better. If you watch my first fight or my 5th fight, my 6th fight, I'm a totally different fighter now. I don't do the same things. I don't have the same tendencies. So I believe my opponents do that as well. You know, in MMA, either you evolve or you die. You know what I mean? So I'm going to believe he got better since from what my coaches tell me he's done in the past. But I believe I'm better everywhere. I have better stand-up than anybody. That's why I'm knocking people out right now. My takedowns, nobody can stop my takedowns. I'm gnarly on the ground. I have a lot of submissions. So wherever this fight goes, I'm better. And I'm going to shut down everything he has, and I'm just going to run through this, man.
Absolutely. And I've got a feeling I know the answer to this next question, but I'll ask it anyway. On the flip side of that, are there any areas of Newell's game that you have concerns about?
Not at all. Nothing. like again, from what I've heard about him, he likes to take people down. He likes to lay and pray. He has a lot of decisions. He has some submissions from what I've seen off of Tapology. But you're not going to submit me. I've never been finished in a fight, so he's not going to submit me. Good luck taking me down. He's 6'1". I'm 6 foot, and I have a very low stance. Good luck getting underneath me, bro, to take me down. There's nothing this man has that I haven't seen or that I'm not prepared for. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna smash him. He's not gonna have anything for me.
Absolutely, man. And let's move on to talk about your training camp for this fight. You've just mentioned you're with a new team. Who have been some of your main training partners for this camp, Jared?
Oh, a lot of my good training partners is Robert Hale. We call him the Blue King, baby. Robert Hale III. He's actually an up-and-coming 155er. You'll be seeing him soon. He's fought for PFL. He was actually getting me ready for Kyle. Like Kyle Stewart, my boy Robert Hale has a gnarly right hand. That's what Kyle's even said it in his interviews that his best weapon is his right hand. So I was training my boy Rob to get ready for Kyle, but I'm still training with him. He has great, phenomenal stand-up. He's a hard man to take down, hard man to keep down. So I believe that's what's gonna help me get prepared for my opponent, Steven Newell. Like, man, Robert's like, I know that my opponent's not gonna have good hands like my boy Robert. He's not gonna be able to bounce back off the ground like Robert does. Nobody trains like us out here like we do at X3. We're the next level. 2019 is our year. We're going to show the world who we are. But Robert Hale, DJ Wilson, Nasty Nate Williams, we're all coming, man. And those have been my main training partners for this fight camp.
It sounds good, man. And is there any specific part of your game you've been working on during this camp, or are you just getting the work in every department?
Getting the work in every department, bro. Like I always tell people, strive to be better everywhere. Because if you just focus on one thing, everything else is lacking, you know? And so we go in there and we make sure we're working everything. Clinch, ground, stand-up, wrestling. We are working hard. We're, like I said, you will hear of us 2019, bro. I'm going to go ahead and set it off February 1st.
Absolutely. And I think the LFA have signed an explosive fight here at LFA 59. How do you see yourself getting your arm raised at the end of the fight? And do you have a prediction for us?
I don't have a round, but it's going to be a gnarly-ass knockout again. There's something about knockouts, man. What's funny is I actually love submissions more. There's something sexy about making somebody tap, making somebody quit. You know what I mean? There's something sexy about that. But I love knockouts, man. Like if he stands and bang with me, I'm going to put him to sleep. He'll be waking up with a light in his face, wondering what day it is.
Sure. Now, before I let you go, I just want to talk about something we touched upon at the start of the interview, the UFC. You're making a lot of noise right now in MMA. There is speculation that the UFC had eyes on you anyway, and we definitely know that the UFC have looked at your fight. Now, taking all this into consideration and couple that with your fights being exciting, explosive, and ending inside the distance, in my opinion, this screams Dana White's Contender Series. A call-up to this show or a call-up to the UFC is probably as likely as each other. Would you have a preference between the two?
No, like, hey, whatever happens, happens. I can make 170 last minute. If you want to put me on the Contender Series, I'll do that too. Actually, you know what? I prefer the Contender Series more because I want to make sure Dana White's there because I'm gonna knock out whoever's in front of me. I'm gonna hop the cage. I'm gonna walk straight to Dana White. You know what I mean? Let him know. Sign me now. I don't know why you've been avoiding me all the time. You need to sign me now. That's what I want. I want to be on the Contender Series with him live there in person so I can talk to him in his face. I'm like, you have to sign me.
For sure. And let's just say, hypothetically, it's a direct call-up to the UFC. Do you have a name right now that you'd want to welcome you into your debut?
Kyle Stewart. Like, Kyle Stewart or man, yeah, like, that's the fight I want. You know, it'd be great to get that fight again for more money. Either Kyle Stewart or Diego Lima. Me and Diego Lima, we have some bad blood. And he's here in Atlanta, too. He's a ATT guy. I'd love to knock his ass out, too. Me and him hadn't liked each other in years. So best way to bury the hatchet is to go out there and beat the shit out of each other.
Absolutely, man. Well, that's all she wrote. So what I'm going to do now, Jared, is just give you the opportunity to shout out anything or anybody that you need to. So sponsors, coaches, training partners, family, friends. I know this puts a lot of fighters on the spot, but there's no rush here. Take your time and the floor is yours, Jared.
Thank you, brother. I want to give out a shout out to the rest of my X3 team, the other guys who are also helping me get better. My boy Walter McCord, who's coming up. He's a phenom. 12-0 as an amateur Muay Thai artist. Joe Bradley, who's fighting the same night I am in a different state. He's going to get a knockout as well. JT, like all my training partners, I love you guys. Give a shout out to my sponsor, Daniel Levi. He has 2 businesses, Best Pick Fights and hashtag Half the Battle. And he also my other sponsor, William Keith Anderson. He's a great realtor. If you're looking for a new place here in Atlanta, definitely hit him up. And man, actually, you want to shout out to Converse and Mountain Dew. I love you guys. Sponsor me. I'm always rocking Chuck Taylors, man. And I love drinking Mountain Dew. Sponsor me.
For sure. Now, before I go, I just want to say a quick thank you as well to a mutual friend of ours. You've just touched upon it in Daniel Levi for fixing this up and arranging the interview. So once again, thank you, Dan. And once again for you, Jared, thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight, and I wish you the best of luck on February 1st at LFA 59.
Thank you for having me, bro. I hope you're watching, man. It's going to be a great fight.
Absolutely.